Welcome to Stuff We Play, home of everything weird and retro, where today I'm covering something that is neither of those things. Well, okay, maybe this video is a little weird. Sometimes I like to recover an old topic after a few years has passed, just to show how my thoughts have changed over time. I mean, it's only natural for my thoughts on a lot of things to change over time. That's just part of growing up and getting older, you know? I think it's really cool to do a new look on something I've covered before, and then compare my new video with the old one. Not only does it show how my feelings on certain things have changed or stayed the same, but also how I've changed and improved as a presenter and editor over time too. With that said, I don't think I've ever revisited a topic twice. Actually, in the case of Sonic Forces, this is my fourth time talking about this game on this channel. The very first time I covered it was years back during E3 2017. You know, when I was more interested in being a Switch tuber than, well, trying to make my own identity on this platform. I then covered the game directly after launch where, after seeing all the hate it got, I defended it and called it a good game. And seriously, that's because I had a really decent bit of fun with it. But then a year later in 2018, I took another look at Sonic Forces. It seemed my thoughts had dulled a bit. It wasn't a good Sonic game in my opinion then, but it still certainly was not a bad one. For both of my previous in-depth looks, I was taking a look at the Nintendo Switch version, which is locked at around 30 FPS and doesn't look quite as good as its counterparts on other modern at the time platforms. Recently though, I got a hold of the PlayStation 4 version, which runs at a pretty stable 60 FPS and looks really dang pretty too. And as for my thoughts on this game as of 2021, they're somewhere in the middle of where they were before. I'm not even sure if I'd call the PS4 version the best way to play it. While it runs at a more stable frame rate than the Xbox One version, that version can be played in up to 4K. And as for the Switch version, that can be played portably. But no matter what platform you play it on, that doesn't change the fact that Sonic Forces in general has some good ideas, but also some near fatal flaws that really hinder it from reaching its full potential. It's not a masterpiece, but it's not a dumpster fire either. As we'll see, above all else, Sonic Forces is just not bad. What's nice about this being my third, technically fourth time diving into Sonic Forces is that I really don't need to recap the story. I have another video that does a fine job at that, really. The story doesn't change between platforms, and I think all I can say for sure after my recent playthrough is that it has a serious tonal shift problem. I think I may find this plot even more underwhelming than I did a few years back. Why is Sonic attempting a serious war story? Like, Sonic the Hedgehog is apparently tortured to hell and back by Eggman, but he doesn't seem changed at all by it. The game can't decide if it wants to be lighthearted and kiddishly funny, a la Sonic Colors, or if it wants to take itself so ridiculously serious that it circles back around to being funny. What we end up with anyways is a game that's best played with the cutscene skipped and the in-stage character dialogue ignored. The scene that annoys me the most out of everything in this game is this one scene early on where we see all these bosses from past Sonic games coming back, and literally nothing being done with chaos. Like, we got a fight with Zavok from Sonic Lost World, and it's still one of the most boring boss fights in Sonic history. But really? Nothing with chaos? Not even a rehash of a Sonic Adventure fight again? There was so much potential! Even Metal Sonic is brought back yet again after appearing in Sonic Mania even. Why is Chaos even here? Just take him out, Sega. Come on, just patch him out. He doesn't need to be here. Back on the topic of classic Sonic games, classic Sonic himself is here for seemingly no other reason than to tie in Sonic Forces with Sonic Mania. After all, by the time Sonic Forces, which was created by Sonic Team, launched in 2017, Mania was only a few months old. That game, by the way, was mostly developed by a group of longtime Sonic fan game devs who were given Sega's blessing to make the game of their dreams, for the most part. And I think it's telling that Sonic Forces got really mixed reviews, and Mania ended up being one of the most critically acclaimed Sonic games in over 2 decades. Honestly, Mania was probably why a lot of folks were so especially critical of Forces at launch. Sonic Mania was both cheaper than Forces and, in my opinion both then and now, gave more bang for your buck. Launching one game mere months after the last made this an inevitable comparison. But yeah, back to classic Sonic, as he appears in Sonic Forces. It's been generations since modern Sonic last saw him, and as for the biggest thing I disagree with my past self on, classic Sonic does not control well here. Yeah, I was right when I said you get used to it back then, and if this was a non-Sonic platformer, I'd be fine with how he handles. But why does he have no in-air momentum at all? He controls like a rock with an engine strapped to it. Not slow, but definitely the stiffest he's ever been. Modern Sonic feels great though. A little stiff sure, but his stages don't require a ton of platforming, usually. Boost through enemies and homing attack swarms on him to do damage, and it's all pretty good and fast and frantic. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that when modern Sonic stages are good, they're really freaking good. And much of my thoughts on modern Sonic apply to the new Avatar character too. Yep, this user-created persona is Sonic Forces' main selling point, and it's perhaps the one big thing that I think will keep people coming back to this title. Especially kids. Well, that and daily missions and speedrun challenges, which are also fun. I mean, story-wise, Avatar is there because, well, why not? But there are so many dang outfits, so many color customization options, voice clips, poses, wisp-powered wisp-on weapon gun things. The one thing that, in my opinion, would have made the Avatar even better would have been a clothing shop. Hear me out. Sonic Forces makes a progressive choice to remove lives altogether, which I really think is a great thing to do for a platformer. Lives or no lives, a great platformer will keep you coming back to tackle a challenge no matter how many times you fail. So yeah, lives and game overs are kind of antiquated, and I respect Sonic Team for just not having them be a part of Forces. But also, since collecting 100 rings no longer grants an extra life, the Sonic series staple collectible rings just prevent you from dying upon taking damage. That basically means that whether you have 1 ring or 100 rings, the game isn't really affected all that much. I felt no real reason to go out of my way to collect rings here. It felt like they were just included out of obligation, and honestly a traditional 2 or 3 hit life bar would have just worked better with how the game's set up. And I do like the current unlock system for Avatar customization options. Being awarded new outfits and such upon meeting certain stage objectives is really satisfying. And my goodness, there are a ton of customization options. But why not make like 100 more, maybe even a few more sets based off of other Sega and Atlas series, since, we already have ones based off of Super Monkey Ball and Persona 5, you see. Then just add in an in-game shop where you can buy them between stages. Kind of like the Chow World shop in Sonic Adventure 2, except focused on cosmetics. You'd even have a global ring tally on the world map, so rings would actually mean something again. Speaking of things that Sonic Team should have added, Sonic Forces has 30 total stages, but dang, some of them should have had some added length. A lot of stages feel like they end right when they're getting started. The only one that overstays its welcome, in my opinion, is that really annoying auto-scrolling stage towards the end of the game. And even then, that's just because the auto-scrolling stages suck, especially so in a game based around speed, momentum, and flow. And sure, a few of those 30 are actually boss levels, but I would have rathered 15 4 to 6 minute long stages, or scratch that, 10 4 to 6 minute long stages and then a few boss stages, instead of 30 stages, many of which feel like they can be beat in around 2 to 3 minutes max. At least the game is freaking gorgeous though. Like, don't get me wrong, the Switch version wasn't a bad looking game, but at this near rock solid 60 FPS and with the added detail on the PS4, it really is the best Sonic has ever looked in 3D. And you'll definitely be looking at it a lot too. And by looking, I mean, like watching mid-stage interruptions instead of actually playing the game. I hate how many times the stages are interrupted. Like, why do we need all these short QuickTime event sequences and mini cutscenes? I just want to get back to high-speed platforming, especially in the stages where Sonic and the Avatar team up. Really, I love the platforming there. It's just as fun as it was back in the adventure days, but there's just not a ton of it. The stages where the Avatar and Sonic team up have one of the most boring mechanics in the entire game. Seriously, you can just ignore those button prompts if you want to. Get up, put the controller down, check the mail or something, maybe call your mom and tell her that you love her. She worries about you. Seriously, check in with your mom. You'll have enough time for at least a quick chat before it's time to actually play the game again. My final and biggest gripe though, is how none of the stage settings stand out except for the Metropolis area and the final levels where Eggman's making like this big artificial sun thing. Why are we going through Green Hill and Chemical Plant Zone again? Did we really need to bring back the Death Egg from Sonic 3? Why can't we have new locales? What makes this especially sad too is the last time we had a Sonic game with completely new zones, like no green hill, no chemical plant or anything like that, was Sonic Colors back in 2011. Speaking of the likes of Green Hill and Chemical Plant, those also appeared in Sonic Mania. And yeah, that game was meant to pay homage to the classic Sonic games from the Sega Genesis. But that's especially bad for Forces, because it makes these zones feel less like an homage to those classic titles, and just like laziness on the part of the developers. I just want Sonic to go somewhere that doesn't feel like a rehash. I want something that at least feels like an attempt at something new. Thankfully though, there is at least one part of Sonic Forces that has absolutely improved with age. I saved my favorite part of the game for last, and that's the soundtrack. Once you're done watching this vid, and also left a like and hit that subscribe button so you can join my Epic Gamer Squad fam or whatever. Oh god damn, I can't believe I just said that crap. You should absolutely give some of this OST a listen. It's a departure in style from a lot of the previous Sonic games. A lot of the tunes featured vocals and also a rather dance-inspired feel, but I dig it. Like, listen a bit to Aqua Road here. I really love this entire soundtrack, with the only exception being the main theme, Fist Bump. I don't know, I found this title track to be pretty weak, but maybe that's just because of how foot-tappingly good the rest of the OST is. Even the Sega Genesis S tune from the classic Sonic stages rock. Indeed, I even had the Ghost Town and Egg Dragoon boss tracks play earlier in the vid. They're really dang good. Also, on the topic of bosses, that multiform Death Egg robot fight at the end is pretty epic. It's decently challenging too, which is nice to say after a few playthroughs because even on hard mode, most of Sonic Forces can be pretty dang easy. But I don't think I need to keep going on with this. Should you buy Sonic Forces in the current year? Well, I mean, on sale for 20 bucks like I did? Then yeah, sure. It's pretty decently fun. And if there's a Sonic loving kid in your family wanting a game as a gift, then know that they will definitely sink a good amount of time into making their own playable character alone. That said, I'm not sure if I can say the same to a longtime Sonic fan or your average platformer fan. You can absolutely do much worse than Sonic Forces, and there is fun to be had. But like, why would you buy Sonic Forces before you played the likes of Sonic Mania, or Generations, or Adventure, or any of the classic games? It's not a miserable experience, it's not a fantastic one either, but what Sonic Forces is a game that brings some cool new ideas to the table, but also a game that has a lot of missed potential. Most damningly, it's a game that often feels half-baked, and like it really doesn't know what it wants to be. Above all else though, it's at least a game that's just not bad. So with that, that's it for my look at Sonic Forces yet again. I did this video because I actually got a few requests from viewers to do this look, and I really do hope that you enjoyed it. And even if you didn't, I'd love to know what type of videos you'd want to see from me in the future. So let me know down in the comment section below as I try my best to read and respond to comments whenever I can. Also, I have a Patreon. You can get access to exclusive content, special Discord perks, and even access to early episodes of my podcast, Speedrun, along with getting your name in the end credits alongside these Patreon patrons, YouTube channel members, and Twitch subs here. The only other thing I want to note here is, well, hey, I also have a Twitter, and I'm pretty active there too, and I really need to mention that more often. So follow me over on Twitter at StuffWePlay, and feel free to send me video and podcast suggestions there too. So yeah. That's all for today, folks, so thank you very much for watching, stay classy, and I'll see you next time.